Freedom is the right to do whatever you wish, provided that it doesn't interfere with the freedom of anyone else who has the right to similar enjoyment.
So I think freedom is getting to know myself for who I really am and waking up every day and knowing that I get to create what's going to happen to me.
To be able to truly be what you are.
A recognition of something greater within yourself.
Living from a place of the heart, free from fear. And without fear, anything is possible.
Be yourself and do your own, make your own decisions.
Freedom for people here is to find a decent food to eat and a good place to sleep.
Infinity is freedom to me.
Dance is freedom, or equates to freedom. And that's something I can share with everybody. So when I'm in that state, I'm at my most free.
I don't like the world I live in. Don't get me wrong, I love the people that surround me, and I truly enjoy expressions of creativity.
It's the system. It just doesn't fit me.
Churches, mosques, and Pentagon City Hall. Videos, pretty hoes, dances, tuxedos. Weather charts, radio, television's audio. All that you love to know. Why can't we...
Hello, my name is Pialer Georgicus MacDiesel. People call me PJ.
We are so busy, we are so taken by the complexity of our existence, that when these moments of happiness occur, we ignore them. We seek happiness somewhere else. I want to be responsible for my own life. I know there is danger out there.
What is your passion?
Man is born free. He has to be allowed to live his life with the freedom that is natural to him.
There is no need for existence without freedom. Because if we're going to just be controlled, then we are not alive.
Yes, I live in terms with society, but I don't let society dictate on how I should live. And I feel people should live that way too. Like if you're going to be in society, of course, we're all here. You know, live in terms with it, but don't let it dictate on how you should live. Live the way you want to live. That's the steps to freedom, I suppose.
Is een mens nou eenmaal zo, zodra hij denkt dat hij zo is? Waar komt die maatstaf toch vandaan? Waar wij zo graag aan voldoen. En dat lukt ook soms wel.
What would you do if you had unlimited money, unlimited time, unlimited skills and no geographical or emotional ties?
Zo wil ik worden, als de ideale mens. Alleen dan zal ik mijn doel hebben bereikt. Ja, zo wil ik worden, als de ideale ik. De perfecte persoon die op niemand anders lijkt.
And And I think everybody has a mission. Sadly, many people do not identify it, or they suppress it. Worse, they don't have the courage to implement it.
Okay, we want freedom from the imposition of others on us, but once we have that freedom, what are we going to use it for? Watching more TV?
If I was useless, would you still love me? Baby, tell me so. I don't know, 'cause you have a pretty sister too. I say that I could never talk you through. Well, I know that I would be miserable and blue.
You know, we're supposed to be in the free world. You know, in Australia, I couldn't take my kids on the beach without being fined if they didn't wear a hat.
I don't see any point of this grand enterprise called society if it's not about nourishing human freedom in the most fundamental and meaningful sense.
Every day there is something new in our free society that impinges on that liberty and freedom that you naturally have.
I was born in this land. I'm not looking to be a president. I need to feel that this is my place. I have the right to live here.
I don't need the nanny state to tell me what is good or bad. There is laws that are acceptable, but there are silly laws.
Oh, it's forbidden unless you have a license here. It's forbidden unless you have this. All this bureaucracy make things harder for us.
You want that kind of freedom. But if we allow you that kind of freedom, we can't protect you.
It's about control.
If you look up the definition of society in a good dictionary, you will find out it is a group of people coming together for a common purpose. Did you choose to be a member of society, and do you know what that society's purpose is? When did you decide to join? Did you see what the rule book was, and did you agree with them? You don't have to be a member of society.
So I'm hopeful that we will actually bypass the state more and more.
Vote to the people!
As everyone saw, like in Tahrir Square, which I have been there myself, you walk with hundreds of thousands of people and you don't know each other, but you do know each other. Somehow, there is something that drives all this amount of people in harmony.
Something brought the Arab world into critical mass.
The revolution didn't happen just to have the right to protest. The people fed up of suffering all the time.
The power of the people in the streets can really work when it's orchestrated and manifested through the internet.
We were inspired by Tunis. If we saw Tunis could do this, and we've been suffering for God knows how long. So why not us? And then Yemen and Libya were inspired by us, and then now Syria and other countries. It's not going to stop.
The real event is world communication, the social network.
The day the President Mubarak resigned, I saw, it was something like really made me so proud that many countries around the world were holding the Egyptian flag.
I'm obviously not alone in my quest for freedom. And freedom seems to be a collective topic, too.
The real solution for the whole situation is the people to get together. Not just the Egyptian, the whole world. That's when the system will collapse. Because this system needs energy. And one way or the other, the people are the batteries for the system. So if the people united together, they can make any system fall. Or they can make a worldwide government and then no borders. You know, we can do anything.
The future of the human race is to wake up. The future of the human race is to realize that true happiness is living one's life in a state of responsibility and freedom of choice. The choices are being removed.
I want a clear vision. In order to be free, I need goods, health, food and drink. I want tools, money, and time. I need friends, a loving family, a fairly free country, and an appropriate position in society. I just want to be happy. It's always about needs and wants. In school, I once learned about the Pyramid of Needs by Abraham Maslow. Natural needs are what we need to survive on this planet. Food, drink, warmth, sleep, sex, everything you need for a good physical condition. Nature provides these needs in abundance. Vegetables, fruit, animals, oil, metals, wood, you name it. We can get all of our natural needs in perfect harmony with nature. It's like humans and nature are created for each other. Planet Earth is our paradise, and we have the abilities to rule over it. There's only one downside to this beautiful story. We need to pay for most of our natural needs. Our material needs are the tools we need to survive. We can make any kind of tools with natural resources. We're so good at creating that we've built a very complex material world. Together with the complexity of our world, our material needs have increased. All the energy we put in society has a price, and all of our creations have a price, all to be paid in paper or digital money. Money is the energy of the society that we've created. That makes it so the whole society is money-driven, and that money is the energy of the system, the energy to satisfy our natural and material needs. The more money I have, the more energy I have to grow and thrive within our system. Fair enough, as long as the money in the system, led by the big banks, is fair with our money. Our money. Right. If the big banks demand interest on all the money they print and create, we have to pay them more money than they give us. They don't have to pay interest to anybody. Is that a fair system? And is it really true that these big banks are private? Social needs are the interactions we have with others. We like to hang out with each other, we like to have fun together, to achieve things together. We use very sophisticated languages and technologies to communicate with each other. We love each other, we hate each other, we need each other. Humans are social beings. Family, school, job, friends, clubs, communities, we live together. But it would go a little too far to say that we interact with each other on the basis of freedom. Most of our time we have to invest in society, because if we don't, we lack the energy and the money to cope with the demands of society. Most of the time we're quite busy, and if I'm not busy, then the one I like to contact probably is. So if a satisfying social life is important, I need to find a satisfying position in society that allows me to have the social interactions that I need, and that should bring me closer to real freedom. That brings us to the need for status, which is our position in society. Job, family position, financial status, level of expertise, social status. If I want it or not, I have a position in society. I'm a part of society, and there seems to be no way out. Or is there? Who am I for society, for my country, for my family? Maybe I don't care, but they certainly do. Some people feel the need for a high-ranked status, others don't. But it's clear that people who are in positions of great status have power over people with low status. Fair enough, as long as all the levels respect each other. I think that's what democracy is about. Respect is the basic reason why we vote for the people that represent us on the level of lawmaking. I want respectable leaders, and I want them to respect me. But the real leaders at the top of the pyramid are hidden from us, and I don't believe they care about me. Finally, there's a need for individuation, to become who or what I am. That's a very individual given, and it involves a lot of self-knowledge. I suppose most of us don't even feel that need. Maybe because we're too busy trying to satisfy our natural, material, social, and status needs. Or maybe because we're just happy with our lives. If I look down on this pyramid, I see that every step is occupied by society. I would think that society is organized to nurture our freedoms, but now it looks like society demands all my energy to get my lower needs and walk the line. With every step up the pyramid of needs, it seems harder to get to the point of satisfaction. Most people have no energy left to start working on individuation. Is this it? Knowing all that, I don't feel more free. On the contrary, it feels more like I'm taking a step back on my way to freedom. The answers I got so far are far from satisfying because it doesn't look like I'm on the planet of the free. On top of that, I still feel captured by my daily life, in my habits and my problems. I have to keep searching. I feel empty. I don't know what to do with myself. I need to break out. There are two ways to cross borders: travel and study. I want to know more about the roots of our civilization. Therefore, I choose Egypt as my destination. I want to see the ancient sites with my own eyes, and I'd like to discuss the origins of our culture with interesting people. After all, Egypt is the land of mystery and secrets that holds the key to our culture, intellectual and spiritual roots. I travel through Egypt in a group of 45 people, coming from all over the world. Our host is Robert Bauval, best-selling writer of the Orion Mystery, and the first one to point out the correlation between the stars of Orion and the position of the pyramids on the Giza Plateau.
The few tourists that are here can be counted on one hand. So the temple is yours. Go around. We are in a culture where we think we need to prove something. If we don't prove it, doesn't exist. There are things that we know exist, such as friendship. How do you prove the existence of the soul? I'll tell you how we met. Because of
There's a strange Ethiopian connection.
Robert brought a guest with him, best-selling author Graham Hancock. They both have investigated ancient civilizations for a few decades now.
My encounter with Egypt really began on this island back in 1989 because I was researching the Ark of the Covenant and its connections with Ethiopia. This was a very important piece of the puzzle for me as to explain rationally to historians how the Ark of the Covenant could have got from Jerusalem to Ethiopia. And it seemed to me, and this is the argument that I made in the book The Sign and the Seal, that this temple was built to house the Ark of the Covenant.
On the third day, I leave our group together with two British companions, Ed and Marcus. I met Ed in the airport when I arrived in Cairo.
My name's Ed. I'm from High Wycombe, which is near London.
The second night I met Marcus, the first thing he said to me was,
What would you really like to be doing now if you had unlimited money, unlimited time, unlimited skills, no geographical connections, and no emotional ties?
We are on our way to Abu Sir, a pyramid complex where tourists don't come. We are guided by Yousef Awyan, the son of famous Egyptologist Hakim. He lives at the Giza Plateau in front of the Sphinx.
My name is Yousef Hakim Awyan. I'm a stone mason. My father was an archaeologist and Egyptologist. This is one of the things that interest me, is the ancient Egyptian civilization, the dynasty time and the pre-dynastic especially. Pyramid is a Greek word. The real meaning of it is pyramidos. Pyramidos, the fire in the middle. Yeah. We will see that the stones were like affected by microwaves, that it powderized the stone in a way no water erosion or normal fire or anything at all I have seen that could affect. And it's not one stone, it's all the stones from inside the chamber. It's basalt stone, volcanic. It's not something easy to be scratched. And come look how is it affected from this side. Powderized, and only from the inside of the chamber. I work with the stones, remember, and I have seen stones has been affected by fire, and I know how it looks like. This is a volcanic stone. It was made from fire.
This feels amazing. I'm so far from home and on my own, and I just had a private sunset excursion far from the entrance tickets, with three of the most admirable and open-minded companions.
This has been a much-needed few days. I think as simple as it is to relax, to learn how to relax again. And once you relax in a space, then the actual experience begins to develop.
Robert gave our group a name. He baptized us with the Cool Cats. Because of the recent revolution, there are almost no tourists in Egypt. It feels like we have the sights to ourselves. We have time and space to discuss our ideas. At night, Robert and Graham give us lectures about their discoveries.
And here I am. Yeah, so it's been quite an amazing journey. It's not something that you can plan, and it's probably something you don't want to plan either. Where a journey like this takes you is a big part of the excitement, is not knowing.
Traveling and studying has opened a door for new inspiration. I can't wait to see where the path of freedom will bring me. I meet a lot of new people. Together, we dive into the oldest known period of our civilization. During our many hours on the bus, we share our life stories.
And by the time I was 17, I'd moved into the inner city of Sydney and found myself caught up in drugs, heroin, and I just felt very lost.
Well, everything was just going swimmingly till about a year ago I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that freaked me out, and I gotta tell you.
Once we got to New Zealand, my parents were sort of fighting so bad that we didn't really have any parents. When I went to high school, everything went downhill. I was doing heroin every day. I was known as a psychotic drunk, which was pretty much true. Also, my best friend at the time killed himself.
But as a kid, I was already reading books about the occult and paranormal when I was 12.
So the old Gary was a IT recruitment consultant, telling people the wrong thing to earn money for a company. And that was killing me, because I like to try and help people.
Born and raised in Kenya with Greek-Italian parents, not really knowing where I fit in. I studied in Switzerland, higher education in Canada, further in the UK. And although it was a seemingly successful job, I hated every minute of it.
Since I was really young, I always wondered what was the point of being here on this planet. You go to school, you get programmed, you go to your job, you do the grind, and you die.
From alcohol to pills to pot to LSD to mushrooms to peyote, you name it, I was doing it.
I'm a very shy and unconfident person. You may not think it, but you know, I am. And
most of us, perhaps as a nature of who we are as human beings, seem to have fear of something. Fear of failure, fear of being judged, fear of public speaking, fear of success.
Fear has dominated my life, and I've always acted out of a place of fear. It's prevented me from experiencing many things, going with opportunities which were laid out in front of me. But all these things are part of a bigger process.
Fear is spelled F-E-A-R and stands for false evidence appearing real.
I've had a very dark past. I mean, I got to a point where basically it was either free yourself from all of your fears or you're going to end up killing yourself, because there was just so much going on that I wasn't able to express myself properly. I wasn't able to form good relationships. I was at the point where, you know, I'd been through substance abuse problems, self-harm problems.
I remember sitting in my living room and, you know, of course I was banging out a bunch of lines and had a bunch of drugs and listening to music and whatever, and I got to a point where I was so depressed that I was trying to figure out how to check out of the game. I get a gun, jump off a building, jump in front of a car, jump in front of whatever. I screamed inside of my head, what's the point? And the answer was, you can participate or not. And that pissed me off.
Let's take Tahrir Square, for example. The people who were sitting here in the houses, or not just here, like in any house, they will have this fear, and thinking that those in Tahrir Square are even have more fear. But once you go, then the fear it vanishes in a second. Once you go and you be between the people, all these people, you feel secure somehow, you feel safe. You don't worry about anything. You gain something that no one can take away from you anymore. Like, you had it, you break the fear.
Well, transformation's been a big theme in my life. And yeah, I mean, I suppose the transformation is the theme in everyone's life. I mean, it's the ultimate journey.
A point came where I made that decision, and I made the decision to free myself from all of my fears. What happened was I was in the same place, facing the same problems, but I was no longer afraid of them. And I started making a lot more music. I started doing free running, you know, the acrobatics. And I started talking to people a lot more, because prior to that, I used to have a really big problem dealing with people that I didn't know already. And now, that's all I want to do, is meet people and talk to people and see what they're all about.
The two ways of controlling fear and greed to put over the people. And of course, ignorance. Because when you are in the dark, you need someone to lead you. When you are in the dark, you're gonna fear what you don't know. Then he will come to you and he say, I'm the one who knows. Then you will have to surrender for him to lead you. And you don't have your own awareness and your own knowledge to live your life.
All these people ran away from themselves somehow, building up their fears, but they transformed by looking fear in the eyes. So from now on, if I encounter fear, I see it as an opportunity to transform into more of a free man.
And without fear, anything is possible.
Jay and I have been on a couple of other trips to Egypt, or not Egypt, but to Europe, and this has been by far the happiest one we've ever had. Thank you.
The Egypt trip, yeah, absolutely. I arrived with a friend from Sweden, Tony, and we didn't know what to expect. As soon as we got our foot in the hotel, we shared a beer, you and me and Ed and Tony. We enjoyed our friendship from the start. I mean, we just grew closer and closer, every one of us. You're actually a friend for life. So this trip meant very much to me, and the group as a whole. I mean, could we ask for more?
And here I am, back home.
Initially, as children, then we're brought up to follow our parents. That is just a natural function.
My grandmother says to me, my son, if you want to get in this life something, you have to give first something, you have to give something, whatever.
By experiencing the body and your emotions, which is something I think comes into this whole framework of freedom, emotional freedom, and being able to express your emotions. Again, bringing it back to the trip, it's the most relevant thing for me at the moment. And I know that other people have experienced it here, is this ability to be free to express your emotions in an environment where there's no limitations, self-imposed or imposed by others. It's an amazing thing to experience that, to have a moment to yourself where you can just let these raw, pure, authentic emotions to express themselves, and it's very powerful.
Relationship for me has to be unconditional.
There will be no freedom for me if I don't have satisfying relationships. This whole quest for freedom makes no sense if I don't consider every single relationship in my life.
One must investigate what is right and wrong, but if one's brought up as a petty criminal, one considers it right to be a criminal.
I grew up Catholic. I had a lot of rules and regulations about my thoughts even. That I was thinking, was I thinking the right thing? Was I behaving the right way? Would my God love me? And now that I have started to look at things in a much broader spectrum, I realize that I'm the one that's judging me, and that all of the limitations that I had before were not imposed by me, but by my surroundings and by the people who, even not knowingly, didn't mean to imprison me, but my thoughts started to build a wall around my freedom to think about me as the creator of my life.
You can deny God or the all or whatever metaphor you like all you want, but when you turn around, it's been there the whole time. And so I feel fortunate enough and extremely humble and respectful of everyone. And to quote the law of one, you know, if you want to see the Creator, look in the mirror. You want to see the Creator, look into the eyes of the other. You want to see the Creator, look outside.
We will make this world really, really this paradise for each other. But we are human beings. We make this world for each other. One side hell, one side paradise. We make our life for each other too complicated, too difficult.
And things do not happen because they simply happen. There is a very, very complex law that puts things together. But it's so complex that it appears to us as chaos.
we have to learn to forgive each other. Everyone can make mistake. Love, respect, and help with pleasure.
I suddenly realized the true meaning of marriage. By choosing marriage, I promised myself that I will never turn my back on that one person. This is a lifelong exercise and an important step to freedom.
It is very easy. You just live. You have to do. We have to do what we have to do.
I was perfectly happy. I had a family, I had a house, an insurance business, and I was the mayor. I was numero uno and il simpatico.
Time for a recap. What is freedom? It's surely something personal, but also social. National and global themes relate to freedom. It's quite complex. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, political freedom, freedom of fear, freedom from slavery, press freedom, freedom of choice, freedom of education, free economy, freedom of debt, national freedom, freedom from opposition, free food, free nature, freedom from lies, freedom from fraud, freedom from money, freedom of thought, natural freedom, freedom of the heart. It's all about needs, said Abraham Maslow, and he structured human needs in a pyramid with 5 layers, individuation being the final layer. I'm on the path to individuation. I don't know what to do. I know what to do. I want to study and travel. I want to fly to Egypt and join an organized tour hosted by 2 best-selling authors. About 45 people are on the tour, and I get to know them. Almost all these people went through dark periods, which made them transform into more balanced and free people. Back home, I realized that I can't get to freedom all by myself. I need people around me to share my life and my feelings. Of all the people I know, there's only one I share the rest of my life with. My wife. She is my key to social freedom. With her, I can work on free relation. The key to do that is openness. A relation between open minds without lies is a truly free relation. It's like me and my car. If I'm not open to my car when I want to turn right, I could get in trouble. With people, it's even stronger. It's amazing how powerful it is to be open-hearted.
When I said, look, Mum, you were a real bitch when I was growing up. And she said, yes, that's absolutely true, and you were a horrible child. And I said, yes, that's absolutely true. So we were back, we were back on good terms, and we have an absolutely loving relationship now.
I hadn't been friends with my parents for many, many years. I'd written them off. I am great friends with my parents again. I wrote everybody that I thought that I had unresolved issues with, and I thank them for their participation in this incarnation.
Being open to everybody is a huge step on my way to freedom, but it's not only relations I need to be open to. I need to be open to all information I receive. Not that I need to believe everything, I just need to accept it openly without any judgment. The truth will come up sooner or later. I don't need to judge.
I became aware that everything I believed in and everything I thought was true was a lie.
The truth is a powerful thing because it is. If something is not the truth, then it is a lie, and it is invented by someone. For that lie to exist, it needs people to believe in it.
Items like the chemtrails, like vaccination, like the global warming, like the financial crisis, all these things that are not happening in a spontaneous way, but because some people decided they should happen.
The truth doesn't need anybody to believe in it, because it's true anyway. By living open to others and to ideas, the truth reveals itself. Believing loses its importance as knowing grows.
And we have totally forgotten our power, our strength, and our real destiny. So they have taken away from us our spiritual essence.
When all the lies and fears disappear, I get to a state of purity. Being pure is a state of mind, a way of living, a condition. Having a pure mind is one. A pure body is equally important. Daily exercises in yoga, meditation, and sports brings my physical condition to a higher level. I study Edgar Cayce's readings to know more about health and the medicinal functions of natural food. I rely on Rudolf Steiner's teachings on farming to learn more about growing my own food in harmony with nature, and I study astrology to get a deeper understanding of nature's cycles. I stop following the news and I start reading about Gandhi, about Tesla and free energy in harmony with Earth's magnetic field. I sleep regularly. I schedule my life according to my small and big goals. I drink water all day long. And finally, I quit my job. I don't believe my current job will help me on my quest to freedom.
Very slowly, but increasingly, I started to change what is going on in our world.
It's all about technique. If I master the techniques I believe in, I'll be able to live a more efficient life. If I follow my passion every day with devotion, I'll be able to create with my heart. All I want is to share, explore, and to create in harmony. True evolution is cooperating, for everything is only a reflection of ourselves.
I remember very, very well taking a conscious decision saying, if I have the possibility to give myself time, I will do what I really want to do. And I did, and I'm glad I did.
I've never felt more confident. Some people may feel uncomfortable about my openness and my dedication to the truth, but I don't care anymore. I've reached the phase of the lion, and now it's time to shine. I've chosen to be an honest and pure person driven by nothing but truth and love. And you know what? I'm proud of myself.
I made quite a drastic step in a lot of people's eyes by, quitting a well-paying job.
So I left my political, my social, my family life, also my professional life, and I stepped into some kind of sabbatical.
I also sold my apartment, which was everything I ever dreamed of, and I lived, the lifestyle that I asked for.
When you step into this kind of really structural confrontation, you have to realize that you will be facing a lot of resistance. So a lot of people, turned their back to me and said, okay, you're not playing our game anymore.
Most people consider it a very brave thing, whether it actually is or not. On some levels, I'd say it is. I guess you've got to weigh up a lot of these things.
If I didn't do it, my life would have been unfulfilled.
This is your life. Do what you love and do it often. If you don't like something, change it. If you don't like your job, quit. If you don't have enough time, stop watching TV. If you're looking for the love of your life, stop. They will be waiting for you when you start doing things you love. Stop overanalyzing. Life is simple. All emotions are beautiful. When you eat, enjoy every last bite. Open your mind, arms, and heart to new things and people. We are united in our differences. Ask the person next to you. See what their passion is and share your inspiring dream with them. Travel often. Getting lost will help you find yourself. Some opportunities only come once. Seize them. Life is about the people you meet and the things you create with them. So go out, start creating. Life is short. Live your dream and share your passion.
Be the change you want to happen. That is, I think, very essential, and I'm trying to do this even more.
I do expect some opposition because my society doesn't want me to be totally free. My society encourages people to think and act in its favor. It doesn't want people to think and act with sovereignty.
Like we have this famous saying, if evil comes to you while you are standing, you gotta sit down. And if it came to you when you are sitting down, lean. If it came to you when you are leaning, sleep. But if it came to you while you are sleeping, then you have to stand up again, you know?
So there exists a small group of people, some families, who are really in power and who, from behind the curtains, decide the direction our world is going in. Their aim is to gain really total control and to bring us into some kind of slavery. They control the media, they control education, they control the political, the financial, the economical system, the secret services, the military, industrial complex, and so on.
In my research, I discovered that I'm restricted because of my birth certificate. I happen to be a kind of employee of the state, and I stand under its terms every time I confirm that I am the person on my ID. But that person is just a legal fiction, a straw man. I can also choose to be a sovereign man, so that's what I do.
When you rise, after you've done all the steps of like standing and then sitting and then leaning and then laying, you have nothing else except standing, or you're gonna die, because it's like your last stand.
We are performing in their game, but we are much more powerful. So we have to reunite, to become aware of our situation, and to step out, stand up.
We know that there is no way back. We have to keep going.
More and more people start waking up and seeing what's going on, and raising their voices and ringing the bells.
We are the people. We are democracy. We don't want to be ruled by you. You rule with money as excuse. You suck our energy. We can take care of ourselves. We built this world with our hands. We care for our planet. You told us to keep producing and consuming. You push us to be the cancer of Mother Earth, and we let you. We gave you the power to do wrong. Not anymore. We are here, united by love and non-violence. We love you, but we hate what you are doing. Leave your positions and unite with us. You gave us no choice.
Their game is over, and it's almost impossible to go back. In this life, you won't be granted any sleep any longer. It's time to wake up, folks.
I've had many premonitions in my life that have come true, and I've had to start realising that I need to listen to this inner voice. This is the only thing that can make anybody happy. You can't ever create happiness from somebody else. You can only ever find happiness from within.
What would you do if you had unlimited money, unlimited time, unlimited skills, and no geographical or emotional ties? And you don't know the answer to that question? Are you spending so much time in your life focused on whatever it is you're doing now, you're not even allowing yourself to dream about what you'd like to be doing?
I can feel the power. I can feel that step by step I'm getting closer to freedom. But right now, I don't really know what to do. I don't know what the real mission is in my life.
Hey, listen, at the very least, dream about it.
And I think everybody has a mission. Sadly, many people do not identify it, or they suppress it. Worse, they don't have the courage to implement it. For most people, they'll live their life in a semi-contented, protected environment, and that suits them. For some people, if they don't do it, they literally destroy themselves.
I want to be aware of my fullest potential. Therefore, I believe I need to get in touch with my higher self.
But what I'm really looking for is the levels of awareness that in parts of time the human race been living in this awareness of nature, like a very deep tune-in with nature. The awareness of the 360 senses. My father used to talk about them all the time. We are crippled now.
The key is awareness, and the key is consciousness.
Consciousness, the greatest mystery of science. We can't explain it. We don't understand it. Science cannot get to grips with it and freely admits so, but we know we have it. And we know that our consciousness is the essence of ourselves. If you ask me what is the essence of me, I think any human being would agree with this. It's not my hand, it's not my foot, it's not my stomach, it's my consciousness.
If consciousness is the essence of me, but science can't get to grips with it, then I understand why meditation, yoga, and spirituality are not scientifically accepted. Therefore, I need to abandon the path of the proven to get in touch with my higher self.
Imagine yourself in the space where you can see yourself following your passion. And once you start focusing on that, you can allow the universe to help you.
The very first time I tried to meditate, it was in a pose called the dead man pose, or something like that. And I laid down and started to meditate, and it worked instantly. I started leaving my body, and it was like, holy shit, this stuff really works. And not only that, this is going to be easy.
There are many ways to get in touch with your higher self. One of them is the holy plant ayahuasca.
I started to drink ayahuasca in 2003 while I was researching my nonfiction book, Supernatural. And I did so initially entirely as a research project. I don't believe that I should be writing about things if I haven't had some direct experience of them myself. I don't think I can just sit in an armchair and do that.
The driving substance, dimethyltryptamine, is something that occurs naturally in our brains and in our body, and it's largely responsible for giving us our dreams. So dreams are something that I've always considered very important.
One doesn't do this kind of thing for kicks. This is a serious, rigorous self-exploration that is going on here with the objective of a better world, actually. Ayahuasca forces you to confront your own life. It forces you to confront your own behavior as a human being in the human matrix and how you are with others, both near to you and far from you, and the nature of your role on the planet. Ayahuasca will show this to you. You may think you're a nurturing, kind, sweet, gentle person. Ayahuasca may tell you a different story. That may be a series of illusions that you've been sheltering behind. If there's any cruelty or harshness in you, and let's face it, there is in all of us, ayahuasca is going to show you that very, very, very clearly. And then something else about ayahuasca, which is truly mysterious, which is the sense of entering a completely convincing parallel world, and indeed perhaps multiple parallel realms through which it is possible to project one's consciousness and pass and encounter intelligent entities who communicate with you telepathically. Now, I know for sure that those who've not worked with ayahuasca or any of the major visionary substances, listening to this will think this guy is just nuts. Maybe I am. But don't come to that conclusion before you've had the experience. It's a mistake to judge an experience like this when one has never had that experience oneself. And the experience is so profound and so moving. There is a benevolent spirit who lies behind the ayahuasca vine, whose business is the planet, and who is involved in the education and nurturing of human beings. So what I have found is incredibly advantageous about drinking ayahuasca is being shown the truth about myself with no varnish, no gloss, no glamour, just the facts. This is how it is, go figure it out.
The ceremony itself was quite amazing. We're in the middle of the Amazon, and we're in a hut, quite a big hut, and it's pitch black. There's no street lights around. There's no electricity there, and being in the jungle, there's insects and birds and what have you, just really giving off its own energy. And the experience itself, I didn't actually know what to expect. I hadn't taken any hallucinogens before. So was it something that I was going to see with my eyes open, or were animals or people going to appear from nowhere? I didn't know. And for the first half an hour or so, nothing noticeable happened. There was a gradual increase in my senses, so the noises of the jungle became louder and louder. The sky actually turned from a black to more of a blue, and it was, I thought it was just my eyes adjusting, but it clearly wasn't. The sky was very bright, and so the physical senses were really quite heightened. And then as it went on, I could feel like my body, like the things shooting around my body. My nervous system kind of like sort of jolts, I guess I'd say, and then, but still nothing sort of really, really obvious apart from physical. There wasn't any sort of hallucinating experience going on. Then it's hard to tell whether it was my imagination or my own voice, but everything comes to you as your own voice, it would seem, and something said to me, this is all going to happen with your eyes closed. So I laid back and closed my eyes, and from then, there was some funny animations, I guess you'd call it, little teddy bears with drums or something, marching around, and then all of that sort of finished, and then I guess it highlighted, my relationships in my life that I'd had before, and people that I've met in my life, and why I'd met them, and if I hadn't have met them, and if I hadn't have made some of the mistakes that I'd made, that my life would have been quite different, and it really, really hit me hard, just the realisation that, some of the things that I might have done and how my life might have turned out, it was really quite overwhelming.
And what that has done for me over a long connection with ayahuasca has caused me to reconsider the whole basis of my life, and to ask myself, how am I a helpful person, or am I a positive spirit and helpful to others around me, or not? And where I'm not, it's made me investigate that and try much harder to become positive, to consciously to try to be a positive person, and not through negligence to neglect and hurt others.
After the ceremony, I was moved to tears, and the thing is, a normal dream, you wake up and sometimes you remember it, sometimes you don't. If you do remember it, most of the time, a lot of the things in your dream just don't add up quite right, But with the ayahuasca experience, I came out of it, and you choose when you want to come out of it as well. It lasts quite a long time, and everything made perfect sense. Yeah, that was a big difference between the ayahuasca experience that I had and a normal dream. Yeah. I hope. I'm able to remember what I got out of it, and keep that with me. Yeah.
I was able to contact my higher self, my inner child, through healing and reconnection. It opened my past life memory, and now I know what to do.
I love the first phrase in Jean-Jacques Rousseau's Social Contract. It starts with, "Man is born free, but everywhere I see him in chains." You know, I have to say something about human existence, because I've written a book called Black Genesis, which has taken me to look at not just prehistory, it's taken me to look at the very origins of modern man, when man literally emerges from his natural state and somehow becomes social. That all that has really happened from that point to now is that our life has become more complex. We're born in cultures, in our case in the 20th century, that predetermine the way that we are going to live. Everything is preset. And yet, what everybody tends to forget, it takes a while for people to wake up, is that had they been born 50,000 years ago, they would have been in the real natural world with the total freedom that is available. It is a very dangerous life, of course, but that's freedom. Freedom to be entirely master and victim of your existence.
If you are following what you really would like to be doing, then everything else will fall into place. You will be able to relate to family. You will be able to do any geographical travel that you need. And very importantly, you will have access to wealth in some way that will allow you to do this. Why am I saying this? Because I've realized in my own experience, and I was very cynical and skeptical before, believe you me, that when you are in the flow of what you really, really want to be doing, somehow opportunities will come your way. You sort of end up making your own luck. You sort of end up creating your own destiny. Things sort of become easy.
I mean, I built a car, was interested in it. I mean, why build a car? I built a 46-foot sailboat. I built a couple of businesses that took a lot of years of focus. I mean, why do you do these things? I don't know. It's just life. You get involved with things and you pursue them. You think it's your dream, your objective.
But we don't realize that this complexity is keeping us away from the way that we should really commune with life and nature. We spend our life in this complexity. Our days are spent in this complexity. Whereas in fact, our true nature demands us to feel and enjoy the context of our surroundings.
I don't have no regrets. I've always done what I wanted to do, pretty much.
There is 13.5 billion years of evolution to produce this amazing jewel that you are existing in, and if you ignore it, you are committed, in my view, the ultimate sin. So to to wake up to it and to enjoy it, sometimes not to question it, to embrace the mystery, as many people say, and to be grateful. Step out of that racing train that takes you from waking up to your moment where you go to bed. And step out and allow yourself to be reconnected, if only temporarily, with your natural existence.
I am free. As a sovereign man, I've freed myself from the rules and the standards that society imposes on non-sovereign people. I live with my family on the countryside, and together with the neighbors, we try to live as self-sufficient as possible. Our neighbors run a small organic family farm. The farm attracts like-minded people, so we live in a growing community of people who don't take our society for granted. We care about natural food and natural medicine, so we take very special care of our green land and its plants.
Night is finally when the morning red silence up the night. I am awakened, turning off the tide, leaving all that I had to take, and then find a door in my dreams. Pleasant is the scene, tangly although the feeling's the same. Oh, I feel alive laying in your arms. Day after day I know this is my place in this faraway land. Two lovers singing, the thought remains how the night was a warm hand, caressing motherly. There's a second life when no one can die.
On a regular basis, we come together to discuss how we can make our lives more enjoyable for each other. This is what we want, to find our natural and social positions in our community. Among each other, we don't pay with official paper money, because money devaluates all the time, and it's taxed. We use a parallel currency, named LETS, or Local Exchange Trading System.
The morning haze glad off the roof, ribbon of gray has silenced what's on the ground, deadened the sound. Tameable is the dew, filling all the holes overflowing. Give it to my veins, it's cold, oh cold, smelling smoke and time. Wherever the sun rises, it's all the same. There's never a land. You ought to wonder what brings us here today. In a chanted chain, and to unroll this chain, recover the early morning, to unwrap the day, unwrap and discover that the early morning, to unwrap the day, unwrap and discover that there's hope. New hope, new hope.
I exist in an extraordinary place. I mean, it's an amazing adventure that we have here. A planet that is teeming with life and teeming with variety and seas and rivers and mountains and deserts, and it's an incredible gift. There's birds singing, there is plants, that's our world, and to connect with it is changed me. So in many ways, it's not finding more complex things to do that has changed me. It's actually getting out of this way of living that has changed me. And now I look at the world very, very differently. I feel I've fulfilled my mission. And it's not just a satisfaction, it is a sense of having reached a point where I'm not finished with my life, but I feel that my mission, my real mission, has been done.
I live free from the demands of society in a growing community of like-minded people, and to keep my position in society, I entertain people with my films. My work is based on love for the sacred gift of life. It's been more than a year since I started this project, and now that it's done, all I can do is hope that somebody will be watching it.
Thanks. I'm grateful to be alive.